So when did you realize that I was the one?
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Hi sayang, how are you?
Doing fine.
So you're gonna be the star of today's video.
Aren't I the star of every video?
No, usually I'm the star, but today you're gonna be the star. Today, we want to hear your side of the story about how we met. I have my side of the story in my book, and so I also want my viewers to know your side of the story. So this is your opportunity to tell the truth, to spill the tea.
Spill the beans.
Spill the tea.
Spill
Tea.
the beans.
No, spill the tea.
Beans.
So yeah, today we're gonna, again, we want to hear your perspective on how we met. What did you know about Indonesia before you went there?
So if you were to rewind 2 years before I went to Indonesia, I didn't know much. I visited Asia quite a bit in the past, and I think that's where when I was visiting Singapore, I met some Indonesians, and so I was like, this is interesting, because I've never met Indonesians before. There's not too many Indonesians in the US. It's generally Filipino, Chinese, Korean, maybe Vietnamese as well. But so I was like, oh wow, these are friendly people, smart, humble, funny. So I'm like, so I kind of, got curious, became curious about Indonesian people and culture in general. Basically, I went to the bookstore and kind of read a book more about Indonesia. It was then that I found out that Bali was located in Indonesia. I've heard of Bali before. Let me check this place out. I wanted to go on a vacation somewhere.
So that's why you went to Bali.
Yeah.
So these Indonesian people that you met in Singapore gave you, I guess, like good impression.
Yeah.
About Indonesia.
About the people.
About the people, about the Indonesian people, I guess.
Yes. I mean, there's some people that you meet from certain countries that I just don't click with. It's because, they're not friendly, or they don't smile a lot, or they're rude. But for whatever reason, these people kind of gave me a good impression of Indonesia. It seemed like the personalities of the Indonesians that I had met were kind of aligned with my personality.
So when you met me, did I meet that expectation? Friendly, smart.
You exceeded the expectations, dear.
Okay, so I guess you went to Bali. And what was your impression of Bali?
It had a tropical environment. I love tropical environments. Very relaxing for me. Again, the people were nice, very courteous, very friendly, a lot of smiles. The beaches were okay. They were nice, nicer than San Diego. But yeah, I had a good experience there. The other thing I remember about Indo is bats. I saw bats flying around. I don't know if I remember all the scooters and stuff in Bali.
Okay, now the fun question. Tell them about how we met.
Well, the weather was quite stormy.
Sayang, come on, be serious.
How did we meet? It was at that Wisnu guy, that Wisnu place. Baru?
Garuda. Wisnu. Kencana. Yeah.
Yeah, it was at that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just there checking it out. That's the place to go if you're a tourist, I guess. And, I spotted you. I asked for help taking a picture. You obliged.
Why did you ask me?
I don't know. You seem friendly. You seem approachable.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have much to lose. You could have just said no. And you were friendly. You spoke good English.
But you didn't know that I spoke English, though.
Yeah, you did. As soon as I asked you to take a picture, I was like...
But before that, you didn't know.
No. But when I asked you, of course, you spoke back to me in English. And so I was like, wow, that's how we met.
Yeah.
And then, of course, later on, I saw you, and I was like, I was basically...
You were basically what?
Yeah, later on I saw you and I'm like, hey, I was feeling lonely. I don't know.
You were feeling lonely.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, do you know about this restaurant in Bali? Just asking a random question. And we kind of started from there, and then we eventually just kind of said, hey, let's want to join me for dinner type of thing. And we ended up going to that beach place. I forgot what that beach place was called.
Jimbaran. And how did you feel when we were at the dinner?
It was kind of surreal, kind of weird. I mean, I was in this different country talking to this Indonesian gal that lived in that country of Indonesia. So it was kind of weird. I mean, why establish a connection or relationship with somebody that's so far away? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me being from the U.S.
Yeah.
But we had fun. We had a good time. I enjoyed your company.
So when did you start liking me?
Maybe a couple years ago?
I've been in the U.S. for 7 years.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably immediately.
Immediately when you saw me at the Wisnu Park, or like that
no,
night?
At dinner. I think
at the dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was quick. So why did you like me?
I don't know. We were carrying on a good conversation. You were friendly. You laughed a lot. Yeah, I just thought we clicked. Had a good time. You were pretty. More wine.
So I think that was like towards your last days in Bali, right?
Yeah.
How did you feel when you left Bali that day?
I mean, there's part of you, it's like, okay, I'm anxious to get back to my home. There's a certain comfort of going back to where you live. But yeah, I mean, it was like, all right, I have to go back to work.
What about me? Did you feel sad about leaving me?
Yes, I felt very sad.
Class day.
We didn't hang out with each other much.
Well, we did hang out on that very last day.
Yeah, but it wasn't like we'd spent a week together or something like that. Apparently you left a good impression on me because we ended up still kind of maintaining connection. So
yeah. And how did we start becoming a couple?
We stayed connected. And so we would talk on Skype and all that stuff, or whatever it was. Skype. Yeah, I think it was Skype. I forgot where we met the second time, though. I don't know.
You came to Surabaya.
Oh, yeah, dark times. I wouldn't call that a vacation, folks.
What do you remember about Surabaya?
So for whatever reason, I thought in Bali I was okay stomach-wise.
Yeah.
I don't think I had any issues, even though people say you're supposed to get Bali belly. But I don't remember having stomach issues in Bali. But whenever I go to Surabaya, I always get stomach issues. Always. I don't get stomach issues in Thailand, in Bali. I don't remember in Lombok, Vietnam. But in Surabaya, I always get stomach issues. And so that's the first thing I remember. The second thing I remember is that it's not as attractive as like the Balis and the Lomboks. You got traffic and everything's crowded, everything's packed.
What else do you remember?
About Surabaya?
About Surabaya.
It's where I met your family.
I think one thing that I want to remind you is when you took a shower at my house.
Oh.
Do you remember?
Is that what it was called? It was called the shower?
I guess. What would you call it?
I call it torture, if you go to a hotel in Bali or whatever, you're going to have a shower, technically a shower where you have this spray overhead. It's nice and warm. In Surabaya, I had this little cup that I would scoop water and pour it over my head and it'd be freezing cold water. Yeah, Surabaya was all right. I think that was the first time I rode a scooter.
Wait, in Surabaya?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Was it
really
my
brief.
Scooter?
It was your scooter. I mean, I ride bikes and I drive car, been doing it forever. But when it came to a scooter, it was like a new experience for me.
Do you remember who confessed first?
Oh, you, of course. Yeah.
So
you were madly in love with me. And I'm like, all right.
Okay, that's true. I confessed first. Do you think that's when we started to become a couple? Or did you consider we were a couple even before I confessed?
It depends on what you define as being a couple, but I would say from the time that we were at the beach at Bali.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we basically established a connection, right? I guess at that point in time, it's like, okay, I'm interested in this gal, and so that's my definition of a couple.
So if I didn't confess, would you ever confess to me?
Never. I don't
So
know.
how would you consider that we're a couple then?
If I wasn't interested in you, or if I was just talking to you as just like this random acquaintance, like, okay, let me just get some entertainment out of this. That's different, but I felt a strong connection with you.
But
so
how
at
would
that point,
I know that you're committed to me if you didn't confess?
I probably didn't care. Yeah? Ooh. Deep.
How would you know that I was committed to you?
Just based on conversation. It's like,
so you wouldn't need like...
It's like if you were saying, oh, I'm going on a date with so-and-so, and be like, okay, I guess you're into somebody else then, but we didn't have that type of conversation. It was always about, all right, when can we see each other again?
You just judge by the action, I guess.
Yeah, correct.
Is that how Americans roll?
I don't know. That's how I roll.
So we were on long distance relationship for like 2 years, I think. 2 years
Something
or 2.5 years, something like that, right? How did it feel for you to be in a long distance relationship?
Felt great.
Sayang.
I'm telling you. I mean,
How did it feel great?
Well,
like most people would disagree with
I'm not
you.
saying it's great, but I mean, there's benefits to it because you're in this relationship, you want to call it that, and at the same time, you've got independence. I've got independence. I've got, I mean, there's pluses and minuses, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's greater than now, now that we're together, but so yeah, it was a unique experience for me.
So when did you realize that I was the one?
I'm still trying to figure it out. I mean, what do you mean the one? I mean,
like when you asked me to move to the US, what were you thinking?
Yeah, well, I think there was a certain point where it's like, all right, we can't do this forever. You know what I mean? It's like we got to take it to the next step. I forgot when that was. This is getting kind of old doing the long distance thing. What's the next step? But I don't know. There wasn't an event that triggered that. It was just maybe just a matter of time.
Okay, sayang, thank you for being in my video.
Thank you for being in my life.
Are you drunk?
Getting there.
And can you tell my viewers to go buy my book? Why they should buy my book?
You should buy her book, I'll tell you that. She poured her heart and soul into it. I think she provides a perspective that's unique. But yeah, I mean, she put a lot of time and effort. She wanted it to be right, and so I think it'll be of interest to a lot of people. So I think it's go check it out.
All right, now say goodbye.
Peace. Bye. Adios, amigos.
All right.
Arrivederci. Bye.